got like a you know, what about if you ever got an offer to move there? This is the different an offer to move there and maybe work on a series for like a good few years, like on a TV show there.
It doesn't really appeal to me, but I'd have to look at the contract. I'd have to look at the part. I'd have to look at because sometimes you feel you know what you want, but then something comes up and you suddenly think, you know what, that's a good idea. So never say never. But at the moment,
you're good exactly where you are in England.
Doing roles for a week at a time, maybe 2-3 weeks, and then moving. Kind of like, you've got to remember you are that character. But it's just like any other role. You've got to believe that you're in the army or you're in the special forces, or you know that, and you know this is your mission. This is what you got to do. It's
Like we're gonna play a little quick game. We don't usually play, and that game is first question is, could you please give us your top 5 UK movies of all time?
Right, okay. Certainly The Elephant Man would be there.
Mm-hmm. Keep calm.
Did you say UK movies?
Yeah, UK movies, of all time,
The Blue Lamp,
okay.
Which was an old film with Dirk Bogarde.
Yeah.
I'm struggling now, you know.
Snatch, Lock, Stock and Smoking Barrels.
Not my favourite.
Okay, no.
No.
Okay. What's that Notting Hill movie?
Yeah, again, no.
When you say nothing at all. With that soundtrack.
I'm struggling to think of the name.
Now take your time.
But,
take your time. We've got 2 so far.
Love, Honour and Obey. Now that's a far better gangster film, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Than Lock, Stock,
Yeah. So that's 3. That's 3, right? We've got
3.
We've got 2 more.
There's got to be a horror in there somewhere as well, I think.
UK horror.
Now, American Werewolf in London. That was a British film, wasn't it? So maybe that one. And then I think 4.
4 will be enough for now.
Okay.
And quickly to second question. What are your top 3 UK theatre plays?
Do you know, I still haven't seen most of the plays that I'd want to. I've seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show is a fantastic play. It's one I've seen a number of times.
Okay.
The musical. I'd certainly recommend that. Got a cult following. I really don't. I haven't seen enough of the big ones to be able to judge them. To be fair, No, I think it would frustrate me. I mean, whenever I've done theatre, a long run of theatre, even though you enjoy it and you enjoy the experience of a different audience every night, it's still a bit like, you know what, you're going through the same
routine
character. You're playing the same. The problem is certain actors like to be safe in a certain type of role. So obviously it's going to be more difficult for them to constantly find films or, you know, with that role,
similarity,
that specific role. Whereas I prefer to play numerous roles. It's nice that you get asked to play the same. I mean, I get a lot of like DCIs and some kind of gangsters, whatever. But it's, for me, being an actor is about being different types of people. That's what the whole job is. So while I'm sure a lot of people feel safe in playing the same roles, and good for them if they're happy, if they're confident. But for me, that's not what acting is about. So the main bulk of the theatre was many years ago. But again, I like to vary it. I did rock operas. Really enjoyed them. I did kind of straight plays, period plays, just random things. The stuff I did returning back in sort of 2018, again, was stuff that was really sort of close to my heart. So I did, I'm vegan, and I did a play that was 6 small plays within one, which were all related to animal welfare. So that was something that I could really get in, because it was, as I say, it was very close to my
Something
heart.
very close to your heart.
The first thing that comes to mind is always a bit of sadness, because the project's finished.
Okay,
Because
interesting.
there's such a build-up to when you first read the script, when you first cast, when you first meet the other actors, and then you gradually build a rapport with everyone, and it's such a good feeling. Generally, I mean, I think I've been quite lucky. I've not worked on any problem films, so it's a really good feeling. And then suddenly it's all over, and it's this is quite sad.
You see, when it comes to acting, do you feel like there is a science to actually acting, or some people were born with the gift of acting?
Everyone can develop their acting.
Tell them.
It's something that you just need to work on. For me, it's making the character believable. So as soon as you've read the script, you have to say, I can be that character 100%, and I can make that character believable. So anyone who watches the film won't think, oh no, that's Mike being someone. They will think, oh, that character, he's so nice, or he's so crazy, or he's, they have to believe that they don't see you anymore. All they see is the character.
And talking about auditions, how long did it you see, when you first started going for auditioning for all of these roles, all of these positions, like, did you start off like obviously nervous, and as times went by you started off obviously getting used to the process? Do you still get nervous? How do you
I used to get very nervous. I used to get very nervous. I'm a lot better now, but I think without any nerves, then you're either a robot or you're very arrogant. I don't know. I think you should always have a little bit of nerves, because you want to do a good performance.
Of course.
But you have to realise it's not the end of the world if you don't get it. All you can do is do your best. You can go in there, do the best you can. That's all you can do. And there's no point in worrying about it beforehand, because worry about it afterwards. If it went wrong, that's the time. That's the time to say no. But no, there's no point in over worrying about any role, because it'll look bad on you.
Yeah. Because I wanted that to quickly go back to obviously full circle, talking about before, when people going, when at the beginning when we spoke about people going auditioning for all of these different roles, and obviously being frustrated and not getting some of those roles, because obviously like people are looking for a specific character for that specific project. Like, so what would you say to, those actors who they go to auditions and they keep on thinking, like, I've smashed it, like, I've killed this, I should have got this role. Like, what, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, what words of encouragement or advice would you have for those people who feel like, I keep on killing these auditions, but I'm not getting the roles?
What is good if you get feedback from the casting. So, and that doesn't always happen. It often doesn't happen. When it does, it's good.
Yeah.
Because what they may say is, I felt your performance was very good, very strong, blah, blah, whatever. But in the end, we went for a different direction because we felt this, we felt that. That's good feedback. You don't often get that. It helps if you do. If you don't, you just have to believe in what you're doing. And maybe, self-tapes help. Self-tapes are a lot better these days, because you've got something physical that you can play back, and you can look at what you've done, and you can assess it. Could I have done more with that? How could I have played it any different? How could I have made it more believable? There's things you can do with self-tapes. With a person-to-person casting, you just it's all down to memory. It's all down. What did I do there? How did I do that? I don't know. I'm not sure. But and ask for feedback. I mean, I know casting directors are busy. But maybe say, what was it that you felt wasn't strong there? Was there anything I could have done? Maybe you'll get an answer.
Because like I said, honestly, you actors, you guys are very, very resilient. Like we said, anybody who wants to be, like we said earlier, anybody who wants to be, successful in any walk of life, you need to be resilient. But going full circle, going back fun with what we said, honestly, Mike, like, you guys, actors, I really, really rate your mindset, you know, your mentality to keep on going forward, one audition to another, one audition to another. You know what I'm trying to say? And like, do you, you know, like, do you meditate? You know, like, do you do, like, within your private life, once again, a little bit? Like,
Yeah,
do you meditate? Do you do,
I'm totally, yeah, I'm kind of totally.
because you're hella chilled, man. You're a chill guy for an actor.
I help myself by
Yeah.
looking at things in perspective.
Perspective is important.
Yeah,
very
a
important.
bit of meditation.
Yeah.
And just thank the universe for being there for you, for keeping you healthy, for, you know. And you look at, if you look at the big picture, you see these odd little jobs. You know, maybe they're not so important. Maybe you weren't meant to get that job because another job will come up.
Yeah.
That would be better for you in the long term. You know, it's don't stress about the little things. Just be grateful. Yeah, be grateful for what you have.
What other industry would you like to give a go, or like to even just try something within that industry, if there's any?
I don't. You know, I've done a lot of what I want to do. I had a band. I was a singer in a band for a while.
Yeah.
I got into sports coaching. I've kind of. I mean, I've dabbled in advertising a little bit here and there. So I've kind of entered the industries that I wanted to a degree, and I think it's good because it's as an actor, it gives you a perspective on different areas of life as well, because you, whether you mean to or not, you watch people in all those jobs, so it helps when you get a role that is relevant to that, because you've had, you know, a physical situation with people like that, and it helps you portray those roles. So but there's nothing, I mean, other than that, maybe I'd like to have a, don't know about an industry, but, you know, one thing I maybe like to have a rescue farm one day. Yes. And take in all the strays and the unwanted animals, you know. Maybe when I retire, maybe. Oh, it's hard work though, so I'd need help. But yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds really good. Yeah.
Do you and I've heard you during this beautiful conversation, you know, I've heard you mention a couple of times, you know, spirituality, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you identify yourself as, first and foremost, as a spiritual being or a religious person?
Spiritual more than religious.
Talk to us.
Yeah. With religion, I always think that people, they make the mistake of misinterpreting scriptures, of feeling that things have to be a certain way. You have to dress a certain way. You have to wear a certain headdress. You have to have this attitude over other people. Yeah. But the whole point about religion, which people miss, is it's all about love, understanding, and respecting people, and they lose that. And so, yeah, for me, it's more of a spiritual thing, in that I just look at the whole universe, and I'm amazed that it's the way it works and the way we're constantly looked after. I do a little slot on a Mexican radio show once a week.
Okay, so you got like your own radio show as well.
Well, I've just got a small segment on it.
Okay.
But it's the Marquesina, and I do a little segment called London Calling. So and it's building up a bit of a fan base. So basically, what I do is I always feature artists who are from London or have got a London connection, and do a little back piece on the artist or the song. But yeah, that's love music, love sport. Always have done. As I still play cricket when I can, when I'm not working. Yeah, I think now I do feel more at one with nature, with the world, with people in general, with animals, and you know, I look back at myself before I was vegan, and when I was at school, when I was still eating meat, because you're brought up to be told that meat is good for you, and there's part of me that can't relate to that person that I was, because I'm thinking, well, why didn't I wake up sooner? Why did it take me so long, you know, to make the connection? So I'm not going to judge people. I'm going to tell them that I don't think it's right, but you know what? It's everyone's on. Normally after.
When do you get paid?
It won't be until the
when do you get paid? You got to say.
Payment varies.
Okay,
So rarely
Yeah.
you might get paid straight after. Generally, you have to wait.
Actually, you know what I mean?
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
And like you said about the, years ago, the
Yeah.
Native American Indians, the Aztecs. You go back to any of those
Yeah.
organizations, and they were more spiritual.
Absolutely.
They appreciated nature. That everything was built around nature and the seasons.
Yes.
And we kind of lost that, I think, with these various scriptures over the years. Yeah.
And even like I said earlier, I feel like what I said about the human race. Because I thought, once again, I just thought with all of these things, all of this information, people usually say we live in the information age. Like, what sometimes I ask myself on a regular basis, to be fair, Mike, like, if we live in the information age, why are people still, why are some human beings still, why are people still, why are some human beings still, the word is ignorant to a certain degree?
Because we're getting the wrong information. we're getting the information fed to us by the people who want us to believe that. So it's a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
Who controls all this technology? We're obviously getting what they want us to hear.
Yeah, because even if we're gonna quickly peel, like it's like layers in an onion, right? If we're gonna slowly peel their layers, even on social media, once again, thinking people got a platform, you can be in that part of the world, I can be in that part of the world. Once again, centering and bringing it together. I literally thought social media was gonna bring a lot more people closer, and that race or that religion, understanding more of all of these things. But it's like it's the complete opposite. It's like more people are more divided. More people. Even
on the vegan site, I'll give you an example. On the vegan pages, you've got certain vegans that are, strict and criticising others.
Oh, so you've got certain vegans beefing each other.
Yeah, so you got vegans. If you own horses, well, that's wrong. You shouldn't own horses because that's keeping. You shouldn't have pets. You shouldn't have pets because that's wrong. And it's where you eat. Some of them are like, well, you shouldn't eat anywhere other than a 100% vegan restaurant. Otherwise, you're still paying for slaughter. And it's difficult because you want to bring people into that way of thinking, but you don't want to alienate them straight away. If someone's saying, look, I'm trying to go vegan, once a week, rather than say, well, that's not good enough. Well, good, try it, and let me know if you've got any problems with it. If you want any help with it, and does it make you feel better? How do you think? Encourage them in. Don't
discourage them.
But too many people are like that, particularly. They call them keyboard warriors, don't they?
Oh, them.
So they're at home and they're stuck there, and they see something and I have to comment about that. You don't have to comment about it. If you don't like what you read, ignore it. But too many people don't.
A lot of people love to be warriors on the keyboard, like you said. Yeah. Because it's like, once again, like getting, like, changing your I call it reprogramming your mind, right?
Yeah.
Within anything, when you reprogram your mind, either the best way to describe it is like, years and years ago, rest in peace, Steve. Like I said, I had like a friend who was slowly getting, he was on heroin and all of these things, and slowly he tried to obviously, like what some people might not know, like when you've been smoking heroin for a long time, like slowly when you're getting off it, you just can't wake up today and say I'm getting off it. Otherwise you might, you know what I mean? Otherwise you just might die. So exactly, yeah. So what happens is you need to slowly get off it, right? You need to slowly get off it. So going back to food, vegan as well, because once again, I also believe that a lot of things, like people don't really like to use this word addiction, but I feel like a lot of these things, because when you've been doing something for years and whatever, you can call it whatever you want to call it, you're addicted to it, right? So going back to people like, people who are vegan, like you said, certain type of people who look at other people and say, why are you still doing that? Why are you still doing that? Some of these people need to remember or need to understand that you just can't get off something that you've been doing for years. You need to slowly come off it. So if you're seeing somebody still making an effort to change or whatever, like you said earlier, we should be championing it even more, because Yeah.
And you know what? You have to look at yourself as well and say, am I perfect? No, I'm not. So have I got addictions? Have I got demons? Yeah. So therefore, how can you criticise anyone else? You know?
Yeah, man.
You can't do it.
I honestly, once again, that's why sometimes I like to have this conversation, because I feel like the human beings, us humans, you know, wherever we come from, however we've been raised, as human beings, you know, we've got this mind. It's a very powerful mind, but I feel like, again, I just get disappointed when I see certain things on social media, thinking, fucking hell, come on, man. Again, like you said something, another perfect thing. Nobody's perfect.
No.
So what's with these keyboard warriors pointing at other people's flaws like they're perfect?
I must admit, one thing I do on social media occasionally, I do like to try and make a funny comment.
Yeah.
And it kind of throws everyone because they don't understand if I'm having a go at them or they don't.
Okay.
It's like, what is that about?
You're not doing that, yeah?
Or I put a reference in that they might not understand, you know. I don't know. But so occasionally I do that. That's my vice.
Yeah, man. Like you know, like when you're gonna say something, yeah.
Well, that's when it's kind of good because it kind of switches the subject.
From making it like aggressive to like, you know, just throwing something weird in there.
Yeah. Do you you come across, like, the last thing we're gonna speak about before we round off is, you know, Mike, like with your energies, your vibe, you know, you come across as a person who, correct me if I'm wrong, who doesn't really, like, you know, you're a realist, you know, like in terms of like everything that you've been through in your life and all of that. You come across as somebody who don't really have any regrets because of your outlook on life. Am I right to say that? Or you do?
No,
you know what I mean?
I don't, and it took me a long while to get to that point.
Yeah.
Because I did have big hang-ups and regrets about things I've done in the past or situations I've been in.
Yeah.
And I say, it was weirdly enough, it was about the time that I went vegan, maybe 14, 15 years ago, I can't remember, that I kind of released everything.
Yeah, because it seemed like you've got this light energy about you. You seem like, you know, you've had your periods where you reflected on a lot of things, you know?
Yeah, and you have to, you know what, if you carry something around with you, it's going to get heavier and heavier.
Yes.
And once you release that, you know, I mean, the people who've done bad things to me who I wanted to get back out, I wanted a revenge, and then immediately you think, you know what, why am I thinking this? Once you let it go, it's happened. Maybe it's a lesson. Maybe see it as a positive rather than a negative.
Yeah.
Okay, that's taught me a lesson. That's, you know what, it's gone.
Yeah.
And I think that is the best way to be, because I feel so much happier now than carrying all these things around me. What if this? Why didn't I do that? What if that? You know, I actually did a comedy sketch show probably 8-9 years ago now.
Yeah.
I got some actor friends who I knew involved, and I kind of wrote a lot of these scenes. I found the venues, directed, produced, acted in. It was just something that I wanted to do, and you know what? It was so much hassle that I much prefer.
Like being in front of the camera.
I did one film once where I had to be given a glass of whiskey, and it was supposed to be a vintage malt, and I was supposed to take this and have a sip and really give an opinion. And the director actually got me the real stuff.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and I remember taking the glass. I said, "Is this real?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I've spent a lot of money on this whiskey because I want you to actually appreciate it."
Oh my
He said, "So
God.
I want to see your reaction to the real whiskey," and that was a little unusual. But it has happened. I find that if you read lines with someone, and I have done this before, but if it's someone different to the person who's playing the role, then once you're on set with them, you'll find the timing's different, the inclination's different. So
that's game right there.
It's a weird thing. I just prefer to learn it myself. I imagine how they're going to say it, and then when we get there, often it works out that they do kind of say it the way I think. Well, I think the danger is if you're not committed, you're not going to get anywhere. It's the same with anything in life. If you're starting out doing a new sport, if you're, you know, if you want to become a chef, whatever, you know, if you want to become a carpenter, a plumber, you go into it 100%.
What's with these keyboard warriors pointing at other people's flaws like they're perfect?
I must admit, one thing I do on social media occasionally, I do like to try and make a funny comment.
Yeah.
And it kind of throws everyone because they don't understand if I'm having a go at them or they don't.
Okay.
It's like, what is that about?
You're not doing that, yeah?
Or I put a reference in that they might not understand, you know. I don't know. But so occasionally I do that. That's my vice.
Yeah, man. Like you know, like we're gonna say something, yeah.
That's it's kind of good because it kind of switches the subject.
From making it like aggressive to like just throwing something weird in there.
Yeah. Do you you come across like the last thing we're gonna speak about before we round off is Mike, like with your energies, your vibe, you come across as a person who, correct me if I'm wrong, who doesn't really like, you're a realist, like in terms of like everything that you've been through in your life and all of that. You come across as somebody who don't really have any regrets because of your outlook on life. Am I right to say that? Or you do?
No,
you know what I mean?
I don't. And it took me a long while to get to that point.
Yeah.
Because I did have big hang-ups and regrets about things I've done in the past or situations I've been in.
Yeah.
And I say, it was weirdly enough, it was about the time that I went vegan, maybe 14, 15 years ago, I can't remember, that I kind of released everything.
Yeah, because you seem like you've got this light energy about you. You seem like, you've had your periods where you reflected on a lot of things,
Yeah, and you have to, you know what, if you carry something around with you, it's going to get heavier and heavier.
Yes.
And once you release that, I mean, the people who've done bad things to me who I wanted to get back at, I wanted a revenge, and then immediately you think, you know what, why am I thinking this? Once you let it go, it's happened. Maybe it's a lesson. Maybe see it as a positive rather than a negative.
Yeah.
Okay, that's taught me a lesson. That's you know what? It's gone.
Yeah.
And I think that is the best way to be, because I feel so much happier now than carrying all these things around me. What if this? Why didn't I do that? What if that? It's gone now.
Carrying, absolutely, Mike.
Yeah.
Another lesson that I've learned, like in my 32 years on this planet is, like you said, man, certain things, obviously it's part of human, some people are just part of like their nature. It's like stressing, holding grudges, all of these things overall, like human beings are always going to have these kind of traits with them until the end of time. But like you said, like experience, time tells you that all of these things, eventually you get to a point where you're there now and you're looking back saying, fucking hell, I didn't even really need to do that,
No.
I didn't even need
Things become clearer.
Yes.
Very inconsistent this year though. That's the disappointing thing. We had 2 games in a row, won 5-0 at home.
Yeah.
And then we're going to teams down the bottom and struggling and losing. So very inconsistent, but yeah, it's good that we're still in the top. I was teaching children, primary school children, the basics of athletics and rugby, hockey, things like that. But my main sport was cricket, because I still play cricket, and I was I still am a level 2 cricket coach. So that was my main expression. When, as I said, I did a lot of theatre before I even got into film.
Yeah.
So I found it's where theatre is very big gestures. It's all about the arm movement and
the action.
once you get into film, and it took me a little while to get this, that you don't need to be doing that.
Yeah.
It can be a look, it can be a nod, it can be subtle gestures. It can be a hand on the chin. It can be what you're doing with your hands.
Okay.
And you can say a lot without words. I think once you think you're there, you lose a bit of the
hunger.
The hunger for it. So I'm always thinking that I've always got something to learn. I've still got something to learn, even if it's something's gone really well and you get the rewards, you get the acting award or whatever. You've still got to think, but that was that. What about the next one? I've still got to put the effort into the next one. It's just, you need to put the effort in. And this is what a lot of people don't realise. People who work in other jobs where they clock off at 5 o'clock and they're like, do you want to come for a drink? And you're like, no, I've got a script to learn. Oh yeah, but you've got like 3 days to do that. Yeah, but I need to do that. They don't understand that without acting, it's not just the time you're on set.
Yeah.
It's the preparation. So it's not that easy. So yeah, I'm pretty unsociable. To a degree, I follow that method, but only once I'm there. So because some of these characters you play, you could play a murderer, you could play some really horrible character.
Yeah, for real.
You don't want to be that character while you're with your friends and family.
Yeah, it's true.
So to me, it's like getting to the set. It's almost like putting a costume on, and you or a skin of that character. And then you're in that character.
Yeah.
But it can be difficult to get out of as well, because when you finish a role, particularly if it's a very distressing role, it's a very it can be hard to just finish at the end of the night and go, oh, anyway, what are we doing, lads? It's. But you need to do that though. You need to remove yourself from it, because it's not you. It's a skin you've taken on.
It's basically another character you're
and you take it off again. The weird thing with me, I'd say that it helps.
Fucking hell, Mike. Does it?
Because whatever you've got going on in your life,
Yeah.
whatever problems you have, whatever issues, once you're on set, you're no longer thinking like that, because you take on this character, and you can be someone else for a day, for 3 days, for a week, and you don't have to think about that. It's not going to go away. These issues are not going to go away, but for the time you're on set, and that's got me through some difficult times.